This is Season 8, Episode 151 of the Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast.
Sometimes the important thing is not the number of miles you've driven, but what's going on inside your head while driving. The Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast will stimulate your mind and keep you company while on the road. Join us for education, motivation, and inspiration from wherever you may be in our nation. You'll hear roundtable discussions about important information that's impacting our industry. Plus, you'll learn more about new technology, equipment, driving opportunities, safety, and operations. Get driver success and fitness tips to keep you profitable, safe, healthy, as well as entertaining stories from the road. And don't you know, we've all got a few of those. We might be traveling in different directions, but we're all part of one driver community at the Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast. With your host, trucker Tim Cicerelli.
Well, hello, friends, once again, and a very warm welcome to Season 8 of the Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast. This is episode 151, and I'm Tim Cicerelli, and I am thrilled to be back for another season, going into our 5th year with Stevens Transport. What a blessing it is to bring you all of the updates happening at Stevens Transport, to inspire those of you thinking about becoming a driver for Stevens Transport, and for hopefully entertaining you throughout these next 20 to 30 minutes or so. We have the perfect person to kick off Season 8. We are welcoming a young man that's participated in the graduate rotational program at Stevens Transport. We'll be talking to Ryan Cardenas. He is a participant in the graduate rotational program. And this is a perfect way for anybody who wants to get into Stevens Transport, show what they've got, and learn about every single department to start the trajectory of an amazing career. For those looking to pick up a few extra bucks, we're going to tell you how you can do so with team driving. We'll have a link in our episode notes to a video from some audio we're going to be playing from our Stevens Transport YouTube channel, and another video. We like to let you know what's happening at Stevens Transport every single month with our Stevens News Bulletin. That is on the way as well. But first, we do have some changes here in Season 8. Not so much in what you'll be hearing, but more of what you'll be seeing and how we're getting our interviews for Season 8. So, to kick it off, let's welcome to the podcast Paula Evans with Marketing and Media on our Stevens Roundtable. Well, what an honor it is to continue the Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast for an 8th season, going into our 5th year. I cannot tell you what a blessing it is to my life to produce this podcast for Stevens Transport and to produce it with people that do great work. And so to talk about some of the changes we're going to be implementing here in Season 8, we've got Paula Evans with us, who I work very closely with the podcast. Everybody knows Paula. She's a ray of sunshine wherever she goes throughout the building there at Stevens Transport, and when she's down in the driver's lounge, or even when Paula is at the orientation meeting. She's who you will see up there with John Tabadama, who is another one of my favorite people at Stevens Transport. So Paula Evans, welcome to Season 8, and welcome to the podcast again.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here, and I'm excited for Season 8 and all the changes, all the fun things that we're going to be doing. It's a great time.
So the changes, let's run through what the changes are and why they're being made. The first change we're making is, it's bittersweet for me. It's bitter because I won't be visiting Stevens Transport in person 2 to 3 times a year like I normally do and stay for the entire week, because I love doing that. I love connecting with you and all of our friends there at Stevens Transport and spending time together, even though it is a very busy time where we batch like 40 or 50 interviews all within a week. So that's the bitter part. But the sweet part is we are going to be recording these interviews remotely like we're doing right now. So normally there's Paula across from me on the table, at the desk while we're recording, but now we're looking at each other through a screen. And so
great.
great.
It's pretty great. Yeah, and this will be, instead of once or a few times a year, Paula, we get to hang out, every week with some new fresh faces at Stevens Transport. What do you think the advantages are of us now doing the recordings on a weekly basis as opposed to batch recording?
For sure. I think a lot of it is going to be, like I share with the orientation class each week. This is another resource that we have that allows us to spread communication in a quick way, in an easy way, in a very approachable way. It's conversational. We have fun. We get to know people this way. And if also there's things that need to come up, if it's like a blitz or some kind of a safety week or just important things that have to get out there, we can do it through this communication resource. And that's really nice. The way that ComData came out when the ComData card, Money Mike jumped on, and that was it was impactful and it was helpful. The listenership heard it, and then they already knew the next steps. So that's a real big part.
I'm glad you brought that up with Money Mike, because the last time I was there was in January of this year, and we were, like I said before, batch recording these interviews to carry us through to the end of season 8. And Money Mike had an initiative, right, like you just mentioned, that wasn't going to be released for a couple months. So instead of him trying to speculate how it was going to be a few months prior, we did it in real time through this platform we're using right now. So that gave us an idea of as these new initiatives are released company wide, we can be on time with it and release it that week. So it's going to expedite the distribution of the communication. So I'm really grateful to you and to Angela and the entire team there at Stevens Transport for adopting this new way of collecting the information from our wonderful team and talking to our drivers. But that doesn't mean I'm not coming out. I'm going to be out there for Drivers Appreciation Week. We got to shake the hands of our drivers, and that's always fun.
All the time, every day.
So let's talk about this podcast is driver centric. So what are your plans for us to incorporate more drivers? Because usually I'm there for Driver Appreciation Week, and that's when we record all the drivers and we try to spread that out over the next several months. But this way is going to make it a little bit easier.
Absolutely. They're here and they're gone. That's really what they've got to do. And we always understand that, but we still want their story. We still want to know who they are and get to know them and what they have to say. They've got great things to share. And so by doing this, you guys can schedule, you can be wherever you need to be. They can be wherever they have to be and still be connected, feel supported, and share their story. And it's pretty lovely.
It is. We're going to make it simple too. I mean, it could be while they're, before they get something to eat, or maybe at night, or whenever they're shut down. Obviously not while they're driving, but when it's convenient for our drivers, they can just use their phone. And then I can send them a link to this platform that you and I are using right now. And I can capture their stories, capture their experience, let them share their experience with younger drivers. And some of our younger drivers, let them share what it's like to be out there on the road for the first time. And so we're going to make it very convenient, because when I'm there just 2-3 times a year at the most, we try to get whatever drivers happen to be on the yard that day. Now it's open to everybody, because we're going to create more opportunities for them to record. So those are a few of the changes that we're making, but there's going to be some social media changes as well. And that is where this falls in right there, smack dab down Broad Street in the middle of your lane, Paula. So tell us about how we're going to be using and how some folks might even be absorbing this information right now.
This is an exciting piece. I always say that I'm the voice behind the emojis, but with this new method, I always say, those emojis, that's me.
Your emoji game is pretty spot on, actually. You got a good emoji game.
Thank you. And now they're going to get faces with these emojis, and that's probably going to up my emoji game a little bit more now. But this is going to be great. So in the form of reels, and then also being able to put it up on YouTube. So not only can we listen to the episodes, but now they're going to get to see some of the fun behind the scene things and the recording. So it'll be a really great piece to add.
I think so too. And again, grateful for you and for Angela for adopting the change. I really believe you got to adapt or die. And so with this podcast, it's constantly evolving, constantly getting better. And that basically fits inside the culture of Stevens Transport. And again, this podcast being the voice of Stevens Transport and doing it again for season 8 and episode 151. Always lovely to see you, Paula. Thank you for taking time. And let me just tell you folks too, she's more than just, coming on here and telling us about what's different about this podcast and what can expect, but she is also the kind of a producer behind this podcast as well and scheduling everything. So I tip my cap, my big 10-gallon cap to you. See, I can't even use theater of the mind anymore. I don't have a big 10-gallon Stevens cap to tip in for a job well done.
Oh.
I got my Stevens ball cap on. So I tip my Stevens ball cap to you. Thank you for all the work you do with the podcast, and looking forward to great things here in season 8.
Dan, we're a great team, and I couldn't be happier with everything that we do. So thank you so much.
This podcast is designed to recruit drivers and those professionals that want to work inside the building, the brain of the operations with Stevens Transport, and to retain good talent, whether it's behind the wheel or behind a computer at a desk with the Stevens Transport family. And joining us now is Ryan Cardenas. Ryan's been with Stevens Transport for just over a year. And Ryan, tell everybody what your current position is, if you don't mind. From what I understand, you've got almost 3 different titles. So you're doing a lot of things at Stevens.
Yeah, they're all just about the same thing. It's just whoever decides to call it what they want, when they want to. But I'm technically in the graduate rotational program. So all that really is just going through department to department within the operations floor and really just learning all the key aspects of each department and each role. Just really trying to see, what the operation is truly all about and why things happen the way they do.
All right, so you're dipping your toe in the water of every little department there is at Stevens Transport is what it sounds like. So you're getting an amazing education as to the culture at Stevens Transport. And perhaps are you looking to see which trajectory you want to go and which path perhaps to see where you'd like to land ultimately at Stevens, or has that been determined already?
A little bit of both, but I would truly like to be in the driver management side, just really with all the back end support and just really seeing the day-to-day of how things truly operate within this industry. It's very interesting to me, and I really do think that it's the backbone of the company, so to say, depending on who you ask, of course. With all the live updates and, staying, ahead of things all the time, it's very interesting to be a part of, especially within that department in specific.
So I suppose that would fall under the umbrella of driver manager in training at this time.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So let's go back, if you don't mind, Ryan, to how you found out about this program in the first place. So where are you a graduate from?
I recently just graduated from the University of Arkansas.
All right. So you're
back in May. Yes, sir.
All right. And how did you learn about the opportunity at Stevens Transport?
One of my fraternity brothers, he actually has a connection here. So I reached out to him just, looking for an internship within this industry because I'm truly passionate about it and really wanted to learn more about the industry as a whole. And he was able to refer me and give me an interview, and it went on from there. I did an internship last summer, really enjoyed my time here, really, tried to make a name for myself, tried to help out wherever I could, and was able to return. So glad to be back.
Tell us a little bit more about that internship. What did it entail? Is it more of like what you're doing right now? Does it entail really just kind of observing and shadowing, or did you have some real duties, real responsibilities to help the various departments?
So in the beginning of it, it was more kind of shadow and learn. And then throughout the middle of the tenure of my internship, I'd say I kind of got thrown into the fire a little bit with needing some extra help in a specific spot, for a specific customer. So I was able to get actual hands-on experience and really, truly make an impact on the floor. That's something I really enjoyed. People look at it in different ways, getting thrown into the fire like that. You can either embrace it or you can crawl up in a ball and, pout about it. But, I think that's some of the best experience you can truly get in your young career, especially starting out, first year, first summer, whatever. Really getting in there, getting your hands on and getting the actual experience that you wouldn't get just sitting behind somebody shadowing.
I can tell you with what you just said, the attitude that you had and continue to have is what's going to make you successful at Stevens Transport. You've got to be a major leaguer. Plain and simple. And so when you're thrown into the fire, don't think they weren't observing how you handled that fire, right? And here you are now as a full-blown employee and getting to observe the various departments of Stevens Transport. Great job, Ryan. That's exciting to see that type of success so quickly from somebody so young. Ryan, before we let you go, what would you say to someone else that might be about to graduate and looking for a career in logistics, and what they can do to perhaps join the team here at Stevens Transport? What would your advice be to them, aside from what you just said, which means you got to be tough and have a good attitude?
course. I mean, my top advice would just be stay consistent with your applications, within the specific field you want to be, and, tailor your resume and your attitude to that position, and really try to exhaust all opportunity to speak to somebody that has the experience and really just pick their brain and show interest. My big thing is that, luck doesn't just come knocking at the door or someone sitting down playing video games on the couch, right? Luck comes to somebody that is truly looking for it. And I wouldn't consider it lucky, landing the job or anything, but I was very consistent with, reaching out, following up, and just being adamant on wanting to get experience, and I think that goes a long way, especially in this industry. It's a nonstop, constant, so many parts flying through your screen on a day-to-day basis. And you really have to show consistency and, the urge to really want to do something specifically in this industry, or else, it'll slip through the cracks and you'll get left behind. There's so much going on in everybody's day-to-day that if you're not kind of, I would say, pushy about it, really showing your interest within where you want to learn and what you want to learn, then, some things might not work out. But just stay consistent. Really, really try to pick everyone's mind that you can, that has experience in this industry, and, just ask for opportunities. Closed mouths don't get fed. So that's my advice. That's kind of what I did and how I operate. So, yeah.
And that's really refreshing. Assertiveness and the fact that you have an open mind and a willingness to work. Having produced 150 episodes for the Stevens Transport Roadside Radio podcast and working with Stevens for the last 4 years, you sound like a perfect fit, my friend. Very proud of you and very excited to have you as a part of the team. One more question before we let you go. What's the culture like at Stevens Transport? How does it feel inside the building, so that somebody that might have stumbled across this podcast looking for an opportunity, what would you tell them about the culture at Stevens Transport?
Number one thing is it's a family here. Everybody is truly willing to pour into you, and your learning experience, or even just, your day-to-day if you need help. And if you've been doing this for 10 years or plus, everyone's always willing to help. Everyone works as a team. If you don't work as a team here, you're not going to have the outcomes that we've had. Everyone is truly, it feels like family where I'm at, and I truly, truly look up to that, because that's something that, every workplace strives to feel like, I suppose. I would hope so, because, you got your family at home, but you're here for half the day, in all reality. So it needs to feel as if y'all are truly connected and actually working as a team, working as a family, I sit next to Devin Roblard, and he truly feels like a big brother to me right now. He's able to answer any question I have. If I've got a challenge going on across my screen that I might not know how to handle because I haven't seen it yet. I've only been here for almost a year now. There's some things that I see every day still that I have not learned. Someone with some more experience can truly show me how to, streamline that process correctly, and that's huge. Have that, you will get left in the dust, and it will reflect on your work and your experience here at Stevens.
Got to be a team member. Ryan Cardenas, what a thrill to have you a part of the team here at Stevens Transport. What an intelligent, bright young man, and I know that you're going to help move this company forward, and everybody's pulling in the same direction. It sounds like you're right there doing the thing that you need to do. Thanks so much for being with us. You're the perfect person to put on the episode where we're kicking off season 8. Thanks for being with us, buddy.
Thanks for having me, Tim. It was a pleasure.
Ever wondered what it's like to drive across the country and get paid to see America's breathtaking landscapes? Welcome to life as a team driver with Stevens Transport. The life of a trucker can sometimes feel solitary, but with team driving, you're never alone. Let's dive into how teaming up with another driver can transform your trucking career. So what exactly is team driving? Simply put, it's when two drivers share the responsibilities of operating the same truck. This allows for continuous travel and efficient delivery. Federal regulations require solo drivers to be off duty for at least 10 consecutive hours after 11 hours of driving. Team driving, however, maximizes productivity by alternating driving shifts, cutting down on overall trip times. By working in shifts, team drivers can cover over 5,500 miles a week. That's more than double what solo drivers can achieve, leading to more priority loads and higher earnings. Efficiency is key. With 2 drivers, tasks like loading and unloading become quicker and easier. Plus, you'll earn more per mile. One of the greatest perks? You get to choose your driving partner, whether it's a close friend or a new acquaintance. Having a partner on the road makes those long hauls more enjoyable. And what about rest? Team drivers sleep in comfy bunk beds while the truck is moving, allowing for nearly non-stop travel without sacrificing sleep. Safety is another major advantage. With 2 drivers, there's an added layer of oversight to ensure committed safety. So, if you're ready to take your trucking career to the next level, consider team driving with Stevens Transport. It's the perfect blend of companionship, efficiency, and increased earnings. Explore the benefits of team driving and start your adventure today with Stevens Transport. Apply now and join a team that drives you to success. Your journey starts here.
Now more than ever, truck drivers are true American heroes. The men and women who literally keep America moving by delivering goods across the country. Being a professional driver is a rewarding, financially lucrative, long-term career filled with exciting adventures. A career where you'll never have to worry about job security. If you have your CDL and keep it up, it will sustain you for the long haul. You can see the country, serve your country, and provide a good life for your family. Whether you'd rather haul on a dedicated route or lane, or prefer working with one specific customer, if you want to own your business, we have a program that sets you up for success with all the tools and support you need. We've got opportunities in our intermodal rail division and have programs to help military veterans transition into trucking careers. We have second generations of drivers whose parents have driven for Stevens, who then trained their children and are now truck drivers. Some are even small fleet owners. So, whatever your dream is, you can achieve it right here at Stevens. If you're looking for a company with a 40-plus year track record that's never had a layoff and just had the largest pay increase in company history for both new and experienced drivers, Stevens Transport has you covered. We offer the finest tools and technology and provide our drivers with the best state-of-the-art equipment on the market. Our infrastructure will support you both on and off the road. As a driver for Stevens, you become part of our family. Many companies throw the word family around. We're family-owned, family-run, and family-driven. Our 40-plus years of success is built on family. At Stevens, you're not just a number. Our drivers are part of our extended family, and we recognize and honor them every chance we get. If you want to be among the top income earners among professional drivers, if you want great benefits, if you want to have every type of driving opportunity at your fingertips, if you want to be part of a company that will stand behind you and ensure your success, come join the Stevens Transport family today and become an American hero. So, what are you waiting for? Take the first step toward your future career with the best trucking company in America. Become part of the Stevens Transport family today by calling our recruiting department at 1-800-333-8595 or apply online at stevenstransport.com.
Welcome back to the Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast. My name is Tim Cicerelli, otherwise known as Trucker Tim. If you wouldn't mind, when you hit your next stop, please follow or subscribe to this podcast from whichever podcast platform you're enjoying it from. We are everywhere. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible. If it's a platform with a podcast on it, we are there. And by following the podcast, you'll have a brand new episode waiting for you each and every week as soon as it's released. And if you wouldn't mind, please leave us a review. Tell us what you like about the show and what you'd like changed. We are producing this podcast for you to keep you educated, informed, and hopefully a little entertained as well.
Welcome to Stevens Transport News Bulletin. We bring you the latest updates in the transportation industry. Approximately 4 million commercial motor vehicle inspections are conducted every year throughout North America to ensure that vehicles driving on our roadways are operating safely. Specially trained inspectors in each state, jurisdiction, territory, and province inspect commercial motor vehicles based on inspection procedures and criteria created by CVSA, known as the North American Standard Inspection Program. the Cedar Hill Police Department Commercial Division was on site as part of the Commercial Vehicles Alliance Outreach Program. This alliance aims to help prevent commercial motor vehicle crashes, injuries, and fatalities, and believes that collaboration between government and industry improves road safety and saves lives. The Cedar Hill police officers came to Stevens Transport as part of that collaboration to provide a guided demonstration of pre- and post-trip inspections to members of the Stevens Transport Safety, Training, Driving Academy, and Operations Department, as well as some fellow Stevens drivers that attended. Thank you to all those that attended these sessions and to the Cedar Hill police officers for coming out and giving us this demonstration. In other news, Josie Garza, who has dedicated over 25 years to Stevens Transport, embodies resilience and passion in both her professional and personal life. With a deep love for her job, Josie finds fulfillment in changing lives every day. She is a proud mother to 2 children, Jerry and Vicky, and a devoted grandmother to her granddaughter, Elizabeth. Josie's greatest accomplishment is raising her children single-handedly, a testament to her strength and determination. Born in Lubbock, Texas, and an avid lover of the fall season, Josie also enjoys cooking, baking, and sewing. Josie cherishes family traditions like the Thanksgiving lunches at Stevens and at home. This year, she has learned not to take loved ones for granted, a lesson underscored by her brave battle against cancer, which she triumphed over. Josie's experience at Stevens Transport has empowered her with confidence, turning her into a formidable advocate who won't be easily silenced. Her dream is to travel abroad, and she remains committed to honesty and clear communication in her role, always with a half-full outlook on life. Stevens Transport is deeply grateful for Josie's 25 years of dedication, passion, and commitment. Her years of service have set a high standard of excellence, and we sincerely appreciate the countless contributions she has made to our team. In other news, after 34 years of dedicated service, Danny Doak is retiring from Stevens Transport, leaving behind a legacy of unwavering commitment and excellence. Danny began his career as a driver and trainer, spending 3.5 years on the road before transitioning to the role of planner and dispatcher for the Midwest region. In this capacity, he meticulously managed outbound freight for top customers like Tyson, National Beef, Kraft, and General Mills. Danny ensured that trailer pools were consistently maintained and coordinated closely with local carriers and the intermodal team to streamline operations. Known for his tireless work ethic, Danny always went above and beyond to take care of our customers and drivers. His ability to navigate his responsibilities with minimal supervision and his thorough knowledge of the area set him apart. As Danny retires, he will be profoundly missed for his exceptional effort and dedication to ensure every detail was handled with precision. His contributions will be remembered with great respect and appreciation. Thank you to all Stevens Transport drivers. We appreciate and celebrate all your hard work and dedication. Thank you for keeping America rolling. Stay informed and inspired by the stories that shape our industry. Thank you for joining us on this edition of Stevens Transport News Bulletin. Have a great day.
Well, there she is. Let's pump the brakes on episode 151 of the Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast. If you found this podcast because you're searching for a brand new career, please make sure you visit the episode notes. We will have phone numbers and every link possible for you to learn more about Stevens Transport and even schedule a call with one of our recruiters. All the information is in the episode notes. And like we said earlier, please follow or subscribe to this podcast from whichever platform you're enjoying it from and share it with one of your fellow drivers. We sure would appreciate it. And finally, my name is Tim Cicerelli, otherwise known as Trucker Tim. Thanks for joining me. And until next time, be safe out there. And thanks for listening to the Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast.